Welcome to another episode Out of the Blank podcast. I'm here with a longtime guest, first time shirt creator, first time artist, because his skills still need a little bit of work. I'm just kidding.
You got your shirt on, buddy.
Yeah, I got my shirt on. Look at that.
Boy.
Two out of the blank shirts created by the man himself. And I'm speaking. What are you drinking? What is that? Blood?
Hey, look, it's 12 o'clock somewhere.
Are you drinking blood?
No, man. It's Malibu with orange juice and cranberry juice.
So you're off the broccoli and carrots now.
No, I'm still with I had broccoli for breakfast.
That's it?
With a half a pound of bacon.
That's terrible. gotta find the balance somewhere. It's like I had a hash brown. Well, what else? Well, I had some kale too. With what?
Like, having a huge chocolate cake with having a Diet Coke. Same shit, right?
That same shit, different. And you're drinking water too. Wow, 2 drinks, man. You must be high class fancy.
Yeah, I know.
Did you get a haircut?
Clean Toronto water. No, I just slicked back.
Water. I got a haircut.
You got a haircut? Very nice.
Thank you. I'm growing.
Very nice. We can't get haircuts yet.
Oh yeah, you're
not allowed to get. Yeah, all the salons are still closed up in Toronto.
I got when we got our masks off, I sent a video to people like masks finally off, and you don't have to wear them in a store anymore. And people are like, "You're such a rebel," and I'm like, "No, I just realized that you guys don't have yours lifted yet." Like it's so weird. I feel like when people say I died and came back and saw heaven and all that, I'm like, yes, we're in that. I didn't even consider that big of an issue, but it's weird because you feel like you're going to get shot if you're in a store.
Yeah, or even sometimes out in public. I mean,
I'm not sneezing in anybody's mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. The funny part is that, okay, it's really ridiculous around here because they'll allow you to do like groups of 5 people together.
It's happening. You can't be in big groups. You got to be in small groups.
Right. It's only like 5 or something. It's so stupid. But then again, they're talking to each other like this close without a mask. And it blows my mind how ridiculous this whole thing has gotten. It's like you're trying to protect each other with a mask, but then there's people that are just like, that are taking this group of 5 people to another direction and allowing it to happen, and but not wearing a mask. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it
doesn't make any sense.
It's a test on the people. It's like you don't really want to talk to your neighbor until they tell you can't talk to your neighbor because it'll kill everybody. Like it's like this weird, like if I told you right now you're allergic to lobster, even though you don't ever have lobster, you'd be like, oh my God, I really want some lobster right now. It's like as soon as you find out that it's now a forbidden fruit thing.
The funny thing is you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Not. Psychology.
I was very much a go inside and do nothing when you get home from work, and that's it, right? I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Except the screams coming out of your jam basement.
That's it. And out of the blank, Rob Robertson. That's it. That's all I care about.
Don't bring me into your hate crimes. I was choked on an ice cube.
That's hilarious. But yeah, now like I find myself being just talking to my neighbors just willy-nilly whenever I see them, which isn't a bad thing, but
hey Bob,
I just wouldn't have done that before.
Fuck you. Yep, still an asshole.
You're talking about me.
Would you say that to your neighbor if a little kid, Matt, I can just picture now, a little person comes up, sir, would you like to buy some Girl Scouts cookies? And you're just like, get off my porch. And then they start turning around and like walking away. You're like, do you have Thin Mints? And then they come back.
Those chocolate mints.
Either
how
those
good are those?
The coconut ones are amazing.
They don't sell coconut here. I don't think they do.
I got yelled at by a mom that was outside when I was like 17 years old. I was walking into a Walmart and they were selling Girl Scout cookies. And they were like, would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies? I was like, yeah, sure. It's for a good cause. You said it was going to benefit you, whatever you guys academically or something, being able to, it's like whatever purchases you get from the cookies, whatever that goes to their fund for whatever field trip or whatever's going on. It's like 20, it was like 20 something for like 2 boxes of this certain cookie. And I was like, fuck that. Like lower your prices. You'll be able to get more sales. It's not about charging so much to be able to hit that nut faster. It's about lower it. So then you can build up and make more sales to build up to that nut. And they're like, the mom yelled at me, don't tell my kids how to run their, I'm like, Sorry. Like I sold candy bars when I was in elementary school. You know, my dad bought them all, but at the same time, it was
Yeah,
like they were expensive, man.
simple economics. But like, was it printed $10
What do you
on the
know about
box?
economics? You're like simple shit. I'm like fucking, I don't even know how to balance a checkbook. You kidding me?
You don't know how to balance a checkbook yet?
They don't teach you that in school. I don't
They
write
should.
checks to people. I'm not a guy
They
that
should.
goes like, milk's 70 cents. It's like the Big Lebowski where he writes a check for 47 cents for a gallon of milk.
They should teach balancing checkbooks and and taxes. How to do your taxes in school. They really should.
They should teach
I
you also
was
about building credit too. I haven't even started that and I'm not going to.
yes, like life skills, things you're gonna need for sure, 100% in the real world after you leave school. That's what they should be teaching.
Teach,
And
I
but
didn't
but
learn
they
how to
get rid
use
of it,
I didn't learn how to use the oven until I was in my like 7 months ago. Remember that?
right? Yeah, no, I 100%.
I,
They were
I,
starting to get rid of home economics and shop class when I was still in high school.
I sliced my finger, the tip of it. Well, it's healed mostly now, but I sliced the tip of my finger doing on a can of beans. Actually,
Okay,
that's a lie. It wasn't a can of beans.
so what
I
was
went
it?
to go rip a bag of rice with my beans and I ripped it and it didn't rip all the way. So I stuck a knife and it went through the other side and stabbed my whole entire like tip of my finger.
That's not home economics. That's just don't put your hand in the way of the knife, man. Come on.
You can't teach cooking class in school anymore.
Well, yeah, I know because of all the liability. Because kids are stupid and they'll light themselves on fire and shit.
That's not why.
Why?
Because you're telling a person what they have to eat, which is controlling their weight, which means you're fat shaming.
Come on! I made shepherd's pie in home ec.
I'm not gonna lie, a
What
good
kind of fish
shepherd.
is that?
I
Shepherd's pie's the best.
shepherd's pie is a lot going on. It's like when you meet someone and
Yeah.
you're like, I want to get in a relationship with you, and then you realize that life is just shit, and you're like, I don't want any of those problems. Like, how many lovers have you probably that could have been the love of your life, but you realize that that person is a psycho insane person?
I'm not gonna say.
Exactly. I've met so many like people where I'm like, damn, I could definitely see settling down with you. And then you find out their life is going to shit. Their mom just died. They got into a car accident. Now they lost an arm and a leg. And now you're like, fuck, I'm not going to be over here with Gimpy. Sounds bad, but
You can't say that, man. You're gonna
yes, you
get
can.
canceled.
That's not getting I don't even have a show anymore. This is now turning into a someone, dude. So I did a
The
podcast.
mudslide.
I did a podcast a little bit before this one, and the guy was like, you should turn it into a clothing brand because he was asking who drew my designs. I was like, that's my buddy Adam. And I always say it's my buddy Adam, but everyone's like, who do I'm like, you gotta change your fucking name, pal. You gotta pick something that's memorable.
Why? What do you mean? Like, what's
Call
wrong with Adam?
yourself like Guajara or something. El Diablo.
Just call me Coyle.
We
Is
should
that
do a
better,
shirt
Coyle?
that's the Taco Bell sauces, but one's like out of the blank, extremely random, and then it's like extra random.
Extra right.
I
I'm
don't know.
still trying to figure out a new name for myself, considering like I just have this bland name apparently.
Call yourself the Honey Badger.
Oh,
You look like a
look
Wolverine,
like a honey.
like the animal. Like I can picture, like people say that you look like your pets. I can
Yeah.
picture you walking down the street with like a Wolverine. Don't crack your knuckles in front of me.
Wouldn't that be so
How
cool?
That's a passive way of saying I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
No,
You're
not
like,
even close.
that would
Come
be
on.
so cool, and you're like cracking your knuckles. I'm like, it's like,
Not even close.
what do you do for a living while you're slicing someone's head off? Like, I'm a butcher.
You know, some ASMR.
You want to come over later for a bite? Ah, no.
Killing me, man.
You know who you should be for Halloween?
Who?
Super Chef Bobby Flay, whatever his name is.
Bobby Flay?
There's a guy in my town
That
that
guy's
goes.
like chunky monkey guy,
There's
isn't he?
you could be a skinny version. Just say you're Bobby Flay on Weight Watchers. I don't know. That's fat shaming. We can't do that. That's mean. That man owns multiple restaurants.
Horrible.
I watched
Yeah.
all right. So there's a YouTube series where they take all these old infomercials and they dub them. They take old Spider-Man cartoon commercials and dub them. Like
Okay.
it's funny as shit. But they had Bobby Flay on there when he was creating something. He's like, let me get a sip of that. And they mashed up all the scenes in the episode where he took a bite of what the guy was cooking. It's like 30 minutes of the whole episode that's 45 minutes long where he's just taking a spoon in there. Let me get a slurp of that. And it's just that the whole, and the way they dub him is like, oh, that sounds like a good taste. Let me get a scoop of that. And they go, it's funny as shit. But there's a guy in my town that drives this like red pickup truck, but the
Yeah.
pickup truck has like flames on it. And he
Okay.
gets out of the car. He's got the hair of Bobby Flay, and he's like just a huge guy. And he has like
Yeah.
his tan is obviously a fake tan. It's spray tan. And I'm like, you are the like, do you know Bobby Flay? And he goes, I was Bobby Flay before he had that style. And I was like, I could see you're pretty old.
Yeah. Yeah. I like those people. We have a guy that says the same thing about himself, who looks like Mike Holmes. Do you know who Mike Holmes is?
The boxer?
No, Mike Holmes is
The
a
taxidermist?
glorified contractor in Canada. He is like
What a
the
name
be all
dropper.
end
Thank
all
you.
of contractors, and he's glorified in Canada. And so there's this local contractor that looks like him, even has like an earring and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, I was Mike Holmes before Mike Holmes was Mike
In his
Holmes. I'm
left
like,
ear or
okay,
his right ear?
I don't know. I can't remember.
See,
It's
that's
just
a
like a
big
little
thing though, because
stud.
one ear's for cool and the other one means you swing a certain way.
Dude, I think that's like outdated, isn't it? Like that's
That's a
some 1970s shit.
think of that though. That was a thing. That was a legit thing that
That
if
was
you
a
had
legit thing,
an earring and
apparently.
so what the hell? Why is everything so weird now where everyone's like, you can't say that? It's like there was a whole entire thing where you would judge a person on the basis of where they put their fucking earring in. And if you ended up doing it yourself and put it in the wrong ear, you were fucked.
Pretty well, not well.
I feel like I'm
Only,
talking to myself
only,
when you're wearing my face on a shirt.
only fucked if you actually went and went through with it, right? If
Do you
you know
like
what I
the
mean.
do you like the fabric on it?
It feels so good
I know
against the skin,
I picked
and
that
it feels good out in the hot weather too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I picked that shirt fabric for a reason because of the comfortability factor of it. Most people want to because you get less money back if you pick that shirt fabric because there's a cheaper option. You get more money back. And I'm like, I don't want to go the cheap route. And I don't even make a lot of money off the shirts. I make $1, I think is the lowest I can
See,
do.
people, Rob Robertson is looking out for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if anything, I'm trying to get you out. That's why I tell you to put your
I
your
appreciate it. You
I,
know I do.
I want you to put your signature at least a little bit bigger on, or at least include it more. You make it in the corner, which is like so modest of you, but I'm like, put it like in the middle of the design so people can see that.
Oh man, like it's all about the design. It's not about the signature.
Yeah, but I want
Or
to know
else I
where.
just be like,
See, that's what I don't like is that you put up a picture of a bunch of cartoon characters flicking off like, and then you didn't get any credit for that. And you're like, it's okay. I'm like, no, it's not. How do you expect to, what, are you okay with not being like super popular? Like my goal is to make you popular.
I'm okay with that, buddy.
Okay.
It's all about the art.
Well, I'm the one putting in the fucking effort here. Meet me halfway. Jesus.
I do appreciate, I appreciate you, brother.
I love you too. That's why we talk a lot. Stop drinking human blood on my show, please.
So
That's
delicious, though.
I'm going to be off YouTube here shortly.
What do you mean?
They put up new guidelines that you have to get written consent or you have to get consent from each person that comes on the show. I'm like, I post an episode a fucking day. You're nuts if you think I'm going to ask every single person to give me, I got to get a paper that you have to sign to be able to, I have to read into it more, but it just looked like these giant platforms now are doing so much. Like YouTube, for instance, used to pay you money for advertisements. Now they're like, since they own the company, they're not really paying. Anthony, the Opie and Anthony show?
No.
Well, Anthony Cumio, I think his name is. I guess he is around here. I thought he was from Canada, but he has a place up in Canada. He owned this really popular show where they would do like, it was a podcast on the radio, basically, before radio was this huge thing where they would have like this segment where they would show video, like no one knew what was happening behind the radio. Like because you always hear it on the radio, you never saw the
Yeah.
video of it, but they would have all these girls wrestle in random food that was just sitting around the office, and it was just a segment that they have. It was crazy shit. But he talked about like these when he first started doing a radio show out of his house, like Tom Green, before Tom Green, became like an actor and all that type of stuff too. He did a radio thing out of his house. He got charged bandwidth after a month of doing a show, and it was $30,000 because you didn't even think about bandwidth. What happens is YouTube handles all that for you. YouTube lets you use their platform, does all the hard work and all the stuff for you, but they get to throw advertisements in your videos and stuff of that sort. Now they include ads in my videos without even letting me get any money from it, because they don't need to, because now you're accepting their new agreement that if you're going to use their platform, they're going to do the uploading for you. They can control what goes up. They can control all this type of shit. And it's just becoming like these tech companies are now starting to add more shit to their thing, knowing that you're so addicted to their system that you're not going to refute it. When Zoom, when we started this, it said you are now recording, is now because they have to put disclaimers in it to stop from being sued from all these news articles and all these news things or segments that are going on the TV of people being caught in a Zoom meeting not knowing it was recording. So now they're just covering their ass.
Right.
Well, eventually that goalpost gets posted somewhere else, and now I can't say stuff about like Ellen DeGeneres drinks baby blood. I don't know. I can't say anything anymore. It's going to cancel me. I don't even have a show to cancel.
What do you mean you don't have a show to cancel?
This that
you're out to the millions of people.
10 people. And I post. You think these episodes are getting posted? I'm really just keeping them and slowly looking at
them. For personal consumption.
My own form of entertainment. I'm leaving a logbook for when I die.
I love it. This is where you're going to have to open up your own website.
Clothing brand. I'm telling you, man, we could do a clothing brand.
Hey, if you wanna flog it, I'll do the designs. I will.
Flogging means something completely different in the States.
No, it means the same in Toronto.
You mean Canada. Flaunting.
No, flogging. Like flogging. You gotta flog it out. You gotta get it out.
That's doing something with a butt. It just listen to the word. It sounds like butt stuff.
Oh, butt stuff. What's wrong with butt stuff?
Say it slow.
Flogging.
Does that not sound dirty?
So does. I know it does.
Say it one more time slower. Say it one more time slower.
Flogging.
Now, let me take my socks off and you say it again. That's a career path to jump down. Why don't anybody talk about those people that are doing the phone sex operating?
What, like night flirt and stuff like that?
You can call during the day too, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just one. It's called night flirt. It's an actual thing. Nightflirt.com.
Like stalking?
No, it's a website, nightflirt.com, and it's like phone sex, but like over the internet or some shit like that.
When do they start charging you?
Whenever
do they give you like
call.
Do they give
it's
you like
not like they only start charging
free?
after like 5 p.m. I remember that shit when you call the 976 numbers. It's like you get that 3 seconds beforehand where they like advertise it, and then you have to like press 1 to start accepting charges.
Disclaimer. After 30 seconds of the call, you will start being charged when you hear the ding. And then it's like you're talking to someone, you hear ding. Was that the ding? No, sweetheart, I didn't hear no ding. And you're like, okay. The next thing you know, you get a phone bill that says it's like $470,000. Like, what?
Shit. Yeah, good old days, eh?
That doesn't sound good at all.
No, but like you
go to Google Images like a man and just look up random shit.
Yeah, but this was before that was available, man. Come on. You're still in the generation where like everything's accessible. This is like my generation where you call those numbers that are in the back of like the newspaper. Yes, a newspaper, not like a digital newspaper. And you listen for like 30 seconds and then you hang up the phone because you're going to get mom and dad are going to like see the charges and they're going to get really pissed off if they see the charges.
That sounds as exhausting as sending a bunch of coupons from a cereal box in to win a fucking flashlight that works for 2 minutes.
Oh man. Do you ever get the old comic books from like wherever, like from a flea market or something, and flip through them and see like the ads for like X-ray specs and
No.
no?
Well,
Oh man.
you would think that
So
would be a possibility now, right?
oh for sure. But
Okay.
like
When you were a kid, what sounded so far-fetched that's come true? And then what has exceeded your expectations than where you thought we would be? Because by
actually
Jetsons
okay.
was 2012, we were going to have flying cars, and we don't have that.
Yeah, so I'm still disappointed about that bullshit because I grew up with like Back to the Future, and I blame Robert Zemeckis and Steve Spielberg. You listening? Okay, I'm pissed off. You promised us flying cars and
Who are you talking
hoverboards and
to?
shit. I'm talking to Steven Spielberg and
How
Robert
big do you think
Zemeckis.
this fucking show is? Do
Huge.
you look, if I Google Out of the Blank podcast and then I Google Adam Coyle after that, it'll pop up your 3 episodes.
You
Even if
kidding?
I mentioned your name in an episode, it'll show me the episodes where I mentioned your name. That's how legit the search has got.
No, are you for real?
Yeah, because I
That's a
think
little scary. Come
your
on.
first episode was 471 or
Mm-hmm.
473. Then it was 720 something. Then it was 77 something. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that was 760 or seven. No, yeah, 777 when I mentioned you to my buddy Robert, who was on.
Mm-hmm.
So it
You're
actually
kidding.
shows the episode mentions that I give you. And then there's a whole long fucking list of all the times I've said like the word Adam. It does, the search is so legit now. That's why it scares me, where it's like,
Yeah.
man, do you want to know that people are talking shit on you on the internet? I don't want to know that. Like, you think Steven Spielberg spends like 1 a.m. in the morning, like this motherfucker calling me out for
This
my
asshole.
time travel theories. It's too much
That would be
power.
funny. It is too much power. This year's internet's getting a little scary.
Do you?
We're
I would
getting
like
like
to
a
go
little
back
mention.
before.
It's not even like hashtagging anymore. Now it's like each like actual spoken mention that it
Is
brings
it
it up.
is it bad when you said hashtag? I thought of a hash brown.
Maybe a little bit.
I haven't eaten since 4 a.m., so I'm feeling it
Why?
because I was doing this fast type thing. I got to do that blood test thing, or not blood test, but I have to swallow those fucking rings like a man. I feel like a kid when you're. It's like you're not supposed to eat things that aren't food, and then now they're
Mm.
telling me to eat these rings, and I'm like, hang on a second. I've been told since I was a kid not to get into strangers' vans. Is that a lie too?
Here's a roll of dimes. Swallow this. We'll figure it out afterwards.
If you told me that some person in a van offered me a ride, I'd be like, no, I've been told not to do that. But what happens if one of those was like a Kate Upton in a van and she was about to treat you like you were the love of her life and take you on all these amazing 5-star dining experiences and jets, and you're never gonna have to work a day in your life, and you get to drive around in a McLaren, and then
Mhm.
really my parents fucked me on trying to keep me safe when I could have been getting had a MILF or had a GILF.
See, but the thing is that it's that one time. It's only that one time. But think about all the times before that happens.
Look, I
Mm,
bank on the 1%.
mm.
I support the 1%. I like to consider myself an underdog type of guy.
Hey, you definitely are. But the thing is that you you have to go through those 15 vans that
Why
aren't Kate
15?
Upton to get. I just
Such
random
a
number.
random number.
I know, but think about it: 15 vans
Didn't even land even.
that aren't even like Kate Upton, not even remotely, not even like clean. Okay, it's like the rusty van that's down by the river that has
Gonna
like
live in a van down by the river.
right with toothy old Gummy McGee just waiting to get you in his van.
I watched a Chris Farley video. It was an interview with David Spade, Chris Farley, and Adam Sandler, all at like a restaurant. And there was one other actor, but I don't know his name. But they were all sitting there, and this reporter, she was really hot. She was talking to all of them, and all of them were like, you could tell like they were being cool. Like David Spade was doing most of the talking, but Chris Farley was like trying to like make everybody laugh, but at the same time, you could tell he wanted a piece of that girl. So he was like looking over at her, like looking down at her dress and looking up at her eyes and looking down at her dress when she'd look away and look back up at her eyes. And she was talking like, how do you guys all come up with your bits? And then Chris Farley kind of made me a little sad, goes, well, I really don't feel like I fit in, but whenever these guys are writing up something, I'll try and make them laugh, knock a couple things off their desk and do all these things. And you realize like there are some people that like are just funny, and then there are some people that like feel like they don't fit, so they have to try and be funny. And it's like a weird, like it made you think a little bit more about like Chris Farley as a person. We think of him as this great actor and this great comedian type thing, and then you realize like he just felt like the odd man out in a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, like he just wanted to be part of the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. It is. I can understand that, where you just want to be part of the guys, and so you try and do some outrageous fucked up shit just to be part of the crowd, right?
Well, I feel like people
Sucks balls.
people are extremely talented in many different ways. For instance, you're a very good artist, but I suck at drawing. It's interesting to see how like some people don't understand what value is when they have it. People look at it like, well, that's not going to ever get me famous or popular. Yeah, but it doesn't make you happy. That's a value effort right there. If you're the best cannibal in the business, fuck it, you're good at something, right?
Hey, why you got to bring up cannibalism?
Because you're drinking blood out of a glass, and then
No.
you're so sick you put ice in it. I can hear the ice. When I do editing, I'm gonna have to edit all those little ice cubes out.
Why would you do that?
Nobody wants to hear your ice cubes of your drink. You got like, and they sound like they're running low. Like the ice sounds like it's melted most of it.
Wow.
Yeah, because the tone of the glass changes when it clinks.
Holy shit, Robbie. That's incredible.
I can also do.
You got an ear.
Well, yeah.
You know how you say I'm really good at whatever drawing and shit like that,
yeah.
Which I feel like I have my hack half the time. You got quite an ear because they are running low. They are, well, since the beginning of the show, yeah.
Yeah.
You got an ear, buddy.
I've just learned to pay attention to a lot of things. I think there's I used to I still kind of talk a lot, but mostly just in episodes of a pod. I realized that the way I act is fit pretty good for a comedy show, but when you're talking in public, it doesn't translate well. Like for so long, I was considered annoying because exactly how I talk on this podcast, how I talk in real life, it doesn't really translate to the outside world. And then finally I found a place for it, which was in a podcast episode or a podcast show. But I spent so much time after a while being told annoying so much that I would just stop talking. And then I would learn to observe and watch. And you realize you pick up a lot of things. There's a very, very prime aspect to life when you're able to observe or be able to be that person that is able to tell like, okay, there's 3 vans in this neighborhood rather than before when there was always one. So that means something is going to go down. And then next you find out it's a drug bust or something like that. Not selling. That's not a rationalization for selling crack in your neighborhood. I would suggest not doing that. It's probably not a very good. Actually, you know what? You don't have to pay taxes. I'm pretty sure.
You don't have to pay taxes on selling crack.
Imagine that's
probably not.
That's going to happen.
It's pretty much a cash business, unless they have like a square pad. You can pay through that.
Credit card slider on the phone. Do you take debit cards?
I only take Bitcoin and PayPal.
Oh my! Don't even get me started on the digital currency. That's going to end up taking over the world at some point.
It's I don't know what the hell it is. Did you see the dip that Bitcoin and Ethereum took when Elon was on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, because all they did was make fun of it.
Well, that's exactly it, right? And then it took a huge dive after that.
Do you think that's like a conspiracy?
Like, what, that he did it on purpose so he can like buy up some more?
Either that or he wasn't paying attention, that they were trying to like make fun of him and he didn't really pick up it, because it seemed a lot of it was them making fun of him, and I don't think he was really understanding.
That's quite possible. It's quite possible. I don't know what his interpretation of the questioning was, but
you said vlogging or flogging, and I thought of the butt thing. And then if I would have said that to him, I doubt he would have got like, I don't get the joke, like that whole thing. And then you realize that he doesn't have that sense of like understanding.
Yeah, he's not built the same way.
Yeah. So maybe they were making fun of him and he didn't understand a lot of the things. So he kind of just went with it because it seemed like it was a very bad publicity stunt.
Well, if that's the case, because he said it's all not a scam. What do you call it? A hustle.
Yeah.
No, it was Michael Che that called it a hustle, and he agreed with it, right?
Yeah.
So if he didn't get it as a joke, then that means Bitcoin actually is just a hustle.
I think it probably is too.
I think so.
Think of this,
I
your
honestly,
bank. I just talked about this in an episode. Your bank, for instance,
mhm,
you put $100 in, they put $100 into your digital account.
mhm.
Okay, how long until eventually all cash is phased out, and then we're just going off of promises that you have digital ones and zeros in your account. I can move over 10 digits, or move that 10 digits to the left, and make sure instead of having $1, you have $100. Do you actually have $100? You just have a fucking number, and then eventually we get so brainwashed that we're just paying with digits instead of paying with actual fucking money. They're just fucking numbers on a computer, like your calculator where you put boobs
Right.
on it.
It almost feels like it becomes worthless.
Now stick your fucking head in the microwave and hit 236 and then fucking start it.
Why 236?
I remember when I was a kid, I was like, why doesn't the microwave start with the door open? Well, you got to shut it first. And then I figured out there was a dude in a movie that stuck a knife in the door slot thing, and he put his head in there and put it on there, and it worked. I was like, yo, I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that shit.
Yeah. That's
That's
scary.
Isn't that crazy? There's many ways to kill yourself in your house if you really look.
If you really wanted to.
Death is everywhere. And just start like start crawling on your kitchen floor.
It depends how creative you are. You just pop the gas line out and then like put a piece of paper in the toaster.
I don't even like turning on the oven to actually cook something. I'm not going to cook my head in the oven.
Do you have a gas stove or oven?
No, I don't actually, just gas. Why do we have gas things? I thought everything was electronic now.
It's some.
You got a house with fucking iPads in the walls, and you're still cooking your food like a goddamn pilgrim.
I don't like cooking with gas. I'm not gonna lie, because there was one time we went looking for houses, my wife and I, one time, and
you killed a small family.
It was a gas stove / oven. So they turn it on. Her and the real estate agent turn it on to make sure it works. Okay, it works, great. So turn it off. Continue through the house. Come back through that portion of the house, and I'm like, I smell gas. Nobody else smells gas, but I smell gas. And the burner wasn't turned all the way off, so it was slowly leaking gas into the house. I was like, okay, we're not getting appliances with gas because obviously you can't smell gas. And she, like, from that, before that, my wife was like all about, I want gas this, I want gas that. And after that, that scared the crap out of her, that she couldn't smell the gas, but I could.
So I almost died when I was little from something like that.
Oh yeah, like what? How?
When I was probably 3 or 4 years old, in my very first house I ever lived in, we had a carbon monoxide leak. And so I was little and I was experiencing it faster than everybody else was. So I remember
low to the ground.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, and also I think being sensitive too at such a young age compared to when you're an adult, you get used to. I mean, half the people in my house were smoking like a pack a day, so it was like I doubt they fucking even knew that was happening.
Can you imagine if they lit up a butt with the carbon monoxide leak?
This isn't the 70s. Nobody smoked in the fucking house. They all smoked outside. You remember that? Like that was a thing back in the day. You smoke inside. I remember going to a thrift store and coming across all these nice couches. I was like, look at all these amazing couches. My mom was like, they got cigarette burns in them. And I'm like, what? And people used to smoke in the house all the time. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize you put the fucking you're fucking filth if you stick your cigarette butt into your arm or your couch chair because you're too fucking lazy to put it out in an ashtray and get the fuck up. And people, man, what the fuck? Back to my story.
Modern convenience back then, brother.
Oh, God forbid I get the fuck up and change the damn channel. Alexa, channel up. All right, back to my story. So I was getting really sick, and I remember I was like, I don't feel so good. I'm gonna stay home from kindergarten or whatever. So my brother went to school. He wasn't feeling too well either. My brother's only 4 years older than me, so he was like 8 or 9. My brother went to school. So he was gone. He got to refresh outside and everything, but I stayed in the house sick. And I remember my mom's like, I'm gonna run to the store and get you something. I was like passed out on the couch. Like I remember getting up off the couch, like doing a push up to get up off the couch and just falling face first hit my head on the couch cushion and fell off to the floor. My mom's like, what the fuck's going on? And my dad was at work. My dad was only home 3 hours a night. So he would sleeping that 3 hours. So he just was gone all day. And I remember my mom was getting a headache. She'd go to the store and then she was fine. She didn't even realize it. And then she comes back. She's like, "You're really, really sick." And I remember you couldn't even touch me to get me up. Like I would just freak out. And next thing I know, firefighters are coming in my house. And then one of them grabs me and carries me outside, puts me in the back of an ambulance. And the last thing I remember is the door shutting and seeing my mom's face as the door shut. Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital. I'm laying on the hospital bed. Like, feel like my eyes are about to pop out of my head. And they stick a needle in my arm to put an IV in, stick tubes up my nose. And this is why I can't like watch Beauty and the Beast, because all they had for me to watch was Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon series movie. And they
Yeah.
just played it on repeat. And I was in the hospital for like almost probably 7 hours. And I remember that because like I remember they called my dad. My dad got into the hospital. They had my dog in a fucking air mask thing, like trying to breathe too, because my dog's all fucked up. Because my dog's as low as I am to the ground.
Right. Yeah. No, no, I get that. That's crazy.
So I'm sitting there, they tell my parents it's carbon monoxide poisoning. And then I'm like, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner or anything. And they gave me a peanut butter sandwich, no jelly, just peanut butter. And I had to eat that with tubes up my nose. So I had a bad experience with Beauty and the Beast and the peanut butter sandwich. So I was like, that was my, I don't know why I even mentioned it, but that's my carbon monoxide story. I've almost
So you
died
can't
like
have
4
peanut
times in my
butter.
life.
You've had a storied life, and you're only what, 20 something?
23.
Wow.
Didn't even remember
Almost
today
like
was my birthday.
you're so full of shit. Don't even do that crap anymore. Because you know it'll pop. Whoa, damn! I'm sorry. I
It's
gotta
my
get you a card.
It's my gotta get you a card. I gotta check the mail. Holy shit, you sent me some stuff. I haven't even checked the mail yet.
How do you not? Do you guys have like?
My mailbox is like 2 streets down from me.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like
Now I
off to a
understand.
side road. So if you're on the main road, you can't just swing by and hit your mailbox. You got to turn off a side road back into this thing. And then next, everyone starts pulling up and I get anxiety because I can't get out because I pulled in and now a bunch of cars are pulling up. These old shits are checking their mail to see if they got their pension checked. And I'm like, fuck. I just want to go home and cook up some ramen. And they're like, "Hey, son, do you know where the nearest golf course is?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you've been there 50 times. Just fucking, you know where to go."
This has happened before, hasn't it?
Oh, so many times.
How many times has this happened?
A
This has
lot.
happened recently. Never mind.
A lot. It's
Are
too
you
much.
okay?
I know
It's too much
exactly the
trauma
type
for
of
one
person that
person.
shows up too. He's got a bit of a hunch to him, has a little Shih Tzu, and his Shih Tzu screams whenever a dog comes by. It goes, "Ah!" And it just starts screaming like somebody's getting butchered. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then whenever I pull into my neighborhood, I'm not trying to talk shit on the guy, but he stands in the middle of the road and then stares at me. I'm like, "I need to go." And then he gives me the side eye or the evil glance because I get
Yeah.
too close to him. I'm like, "You're in the middle of the fucking street."
What's his name?
I don't know his name. I'm not going to talk to him either. I'll mutter some things out my window and drive off.
Is his name like William McGillicuddy
He
or something like
looks
that?
like a Bernie or a Bernard.
Oh, he's a Bernie.
He's one of those Bernies.
Gotcha.
Beri or Bernie.
Yeah,
Give me a
we
word
know
I could
Bernie.
spell it.
Flogging.
Flogging.
You win.
Give me a harder one.
I don't know. Diarrhea. There you go. That's always a difficult one.
Why would you talk to the guy who has intestinal problems and can't go to the bathroom about diarrhea? I Google that shit. It's DIARREHEA.
Sure, I'll take that because I can't spell in my head right now when I'm on the spot.
I wouldn't be able
Not good at spelling bees.
That's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. Until I figured out you had to get in front of people and say some words. I'm like, oh, they're going to give me a hard word. Oh, so when I was a kid, here's another thing my dad taught me. So I can never say this word properly. Are you ready for it? So my dad, as I was a little kid, around the same time I had carbon monoxide poisoning, so I was still like 3 or 4 years old. My dad would walk into a store and be like, "My son's really smart." And they'd be like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's a good speller. Robbie, spell." And then we had this one word that he just taught me how to say it. So where I would spell it, and people like, "That's fucking crazy for a 4-year-old to spell." Oblivious.
Okay.
So the way he taught me to say it was, and I still cannot say, like, if you ask me to spell oblivious, the way I would pronounce it is this way: OBLIVIOUS. That's how I do it with the pauses. I can't do it without it. So because he
Okay.
taught me that's the method to remember the words is do 3 words at a time. OBL, IVI, OUS. And that's how I learned it. So even now someone's like, how do you spell oblivious? I'm like, OBL, IVI, OUS. And they're like,
That's
why?
very smart.
What's with the pauses?
That's a great way to remember things. Like it's almost like you're compartmentalizing it. It's like remembering a phone number.
Yeah, you'll find the smartest people, at least I'm starting to have this idea, is that probably the smartest people that you'll ever meet, their parents had some really crafty ways of being able to get information soaked into your head. Each kid's individually different, right? So then you would
Right.
find a method to be able to teach them. But no teachers teaching a class of 40 kids or 30 kids is going to be able to give each individual student the independent amount of time to be able to turn into a fully functioning, intelligent person. Instead, we're just going to have all these people that walk around wearing a shirt with a kid's face on it, holding a fucking biscuit, you savage.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Oh shit. Yeah, but I mean, like,
I've gotten so many compliments on my shirt.
yeah, it looks fresh, man. The colors really pop.
Yeah.
Like I'm
That's such a weird thing to say. What the fuck?
that they
wrong?
pop?
Yeah, those colors pop.
They do pop.
All
They
right.
pop.
Pop.
Pop hard.
Pop pop.
Pop pop.
Pop pop. Going off in my neighborhood sound like popcorn. Pop pop.
In my old neighborhood would be a different story.
Somebody's cooking popcorn. No, someone just shot a meth dealer. Oh, okay.
That's exactly it. But yeah, man, no, I'm very pleased how the digital artwork really pops on a T-shirt on a printout. It looks incredible.
I'm trying to find ways to create stuff without keep asking you. I have another idea, but I was gonna wait a little while to toss it out because you've been working too hard.
Toss it out.
No, not right now. We'll
Toss
do
it
it
out.
off air.
Toss it
I'm
out.
not spoiling
Okay,
it.
sounds good. You're what?
I'm not spoiling it.
Oh, you said I'm not supporting it. I was like, oh shit, you're not even gonna support your own ideas.
Go to. You need to get a professional email. My email is terrible. Mine's like stupid as hell, but yours is like low Irish.
Yeah, man, low Irish.
What is that reference?
I don't know. I came up with it when I was 13.
You're
Has something to do with like an Irish, like my Irish descendancy or some shit like that. I don't know why.
The Irish are low people and all they get is
You know what? That's what
scraps?
it was. It's because I always thought like that like I came from like potato farmers, so like the low end of the Irish. You know what I mean?
Potato was currency in Ireland.
Some damn good potatoes. I love potatoes.
I worked with Romanian and Bolivian students, and they were like, "Your food is so good," and I'm like, "It's fucking pizza. You never had pizza before?" And they're like, "All we have is like everything that they cook is potatoes, like mixed with potatoes. It's like you're having this, and then you're having potatoes with it. Everything includes potatoes, and you realize depending on where you're from is the type of food you're eating. It's like when you go to someone's house for like a sleepover, and then you realize that not every single family eats the same. Like we always have spaghetti and marinara for dinner, but you guys are having tacos? What the fuck?
You know the funny thing? Okay, so when I was a kid, I went to a sleepover at my cousin's, okay? And
About 50
for
years ago.
breakfast, they said, "What do you want for breakfast?" I'm like, Cheerios? Oh, we don't have Cheerios. I'm like, okay.
Who the fuck doesn't have Cheerios? You guys aren't worried about your damn cholesterol?
Right. So I was like, Frosted Flakes, maybe? No, we don't have that.
No
I'm
sports
like, okay,
cereals in the house.
what are the kids eating?
Count
Like,
Chocula.
what's Josh and Alex eating? I'm like, and they're like, what was it? Cream cheese on toast. I'm like,
God damn. You live in a fucking immigrant household.
Now that no. They're Canadian, right? That's like, this is a different side of the family, right? This isn't the Italian side. This is Canadian side. But to me, that blew my mind because I'm like, the fuck, cream cheese on toast? Who the fuck eats cream cheese on toast?
It's like avocado on toast. I don't get it.
Right. But like to a 7-year-old, like,
yeah. I remember
like,
going to my grandparents. Going to my grandparents all the time. I remember in the morning, my grandfather was like, "What do you want for breakfast?" I was like, "French toast." And my grandma would make extravagant meals, but my grandfather didn't give a fuck. He was the type like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "I would like some French toast or some chocolate chip pancakes that grandma makes." And he goes, "Okay." And then I would sit down. He'd come around the corner, beets, just fucking beets on a plate. I'm like, "This is chocolate chip pancakes. You're gonna eat what I make." And I'm like, "Okay." And Nobody tells like an 8-year-old what happens after you eat beets. When you go to the bathroom, what happens?
Turns red.
Nobody tells an 8-year-old, so I think I'm dying. I'm like,
right?
Oh my God. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm dying. And he's like, no, oh God. That's from the
Same thing
beets.
with pomegranates too, eh? Did you know that?
I didn't know that about pomegranates, but I don't
I didn't
trust,
know that when I was a kid either.
I don't eat a food where you have to bite the food and then you have to spit out the seeds.
This wasn't even like an actual pomegranate. This was a pomegranate slushy from 7-Eleven when I was a teenager.
Hang on a second. How was I supposed to know that? You say, did you know that about pomegranates? And I'm like, I don't trust
this
the
is the
food
weird part.
And you start talking about the Slurpee. I'm like, yeah, I thought we're eating the pomegranate. You're like, I had a pomegranate Slurpee in 7-Eleven, you idiot. I'm like, how the fuck? I don't read your mind, Adam. What the fuck? I just feel like I just got tossed in a loophole. I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Don't you know my life?
A pomegranate Slurpee at a 7-Eleven. Where kind of 7-Elevens you go into? That's like a low. I don't even think that was a 7-Eleven. It sounds like a Wawa.
Might have been a Max Milk. I don't know. We have Max Milks up here too.
Fuck's a Max Milks.
Right. It's
that's
just
like
that's a chain of stores.
That's the one where like most people get out of their car and they leave their car running like a fucking psychopath, and they run into the store like thinking that's okay instead of getting robbed. But this is one where you lock the door and then you fucking make sure that everything's sealed up tight. You double check it, hit the lock button like 20,000 times to make sure. And then even when you get out, you have to wear riot gear because you know you're gonna get shanked when you go to buy a damn taquito on the roller.
See, so Max Milk is like what 7-Eleven was before 7-Eleven came to Canada. So that was like our local convenience store, right? That was like the chain convenience store. And so they had pomegranate slushies. So I had a pomegranate slushie. And I went to the washroom shortly after that, and it's all red. And I'm freaking out that I'm dying because it's all red. Like I'm bleeding out my asshole.
That happened with Frankenberry.
Frankenberry does that too?
The Frankenberry cereal, there was a bunch of parents that were calling in and taking their kids to hospitals because the coloring dye in Frankenberry made their poop like a certain like reddish color.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You still have the Honey Smacks?
Yeah, we still have Honey Smacks. I still eat
them. No, do you have Honey Smacks? Do you still eat Honey Smacks?
Fuck yeah. Till I die.
Nice. Shout out to Kellogg's.
Yeah.
Get this man some Honey Smacks.
Let's get a shirt together, a shirt collab.
Hashtag Honey Smacks. So like when anybody Googles Honey Smacks, maybe those will pop up.
Damn, that's good. I should start dropping like popular names on this show.
Holy man. See? Now you're getting it.
Bernie Mac.
Benson and Hedges, ultralight menthol.
I don't think it works like that.
Come on.
I think I have
Benson and Hedges even like an actual cigarette brand anymore?
Well, see, I think it also works with I have to put it in the description when I type it in. So like when I typed you in that episode with my buddy Robert, I added your name in there.
Gotcha. So understood.
I give credit where credit's due, my friend.
I appreciate that, buddy.
See, I could just say, Robbie, how do you create your shirts? So I'm like, well, I create them all on my own, no help at all. But no, I'm going to say my buddy Adam creates a lot of the shirts and I do a couple of them. I have a couple on there that are my own.
Do that. I'll be like the Cyrano de Bergerac in the bushes somewhere.
No, I make sure you always get the credit. And someone says, hey, where'd you get your shirt? And I'm like, I got it at my buddy Adam drew it. Adam drew it for me. Like,
Christ, Robbie.
And they ruffle my hair and I run off. Look both ways. You just hear a car crash. There are some people that don't give a fuck when they cross the street. They just walk right out in the middle.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
So fucked up.
I wish I could fucking hit them. I wish.
Right?
The people that don't even look, they know you're gonna stop. And I just like imagine if I knew you had like a cat, like you had 9 lives, I'd just fucking hit you with the car.
If this was the 60s and you knew the cops would be on your side because the idiot should be crossing the street where he's not supposed to cross the street, then yeah, that'd be, justified homicide.
What would you do if you just heard someone scream, help? And like they're screaming help?
Never mind, dude. Something like that happened across the street yesterday.
Someone got murdered?
No, somebody got like, I think there was like a domestic, and I was just working out in my front
Did you
room.
did you peek out your window and like kind
No,
of like
I continued
hide
on my
behind the wall
workout.
a
I don't
little
give a
bit,
shit.
fucking
No
looking?
way. And they're
All
on their
necks
own.
turn when something like that happens.
But the thing is that like you never know what's gonna happen with those situations, right? But then again, okay, I live next to a park. You get shit like that, like kids screaming all the time. You never think anything of it, right? Because they're just kids. They're screaming because they're kids, right?
Yeah, but when a domestic call happens, the guy always gets taken away.
The guy took off.
Oh, that's even fucking worse. Then you're running from something.
Yeah.
Because the
So the
OJ
guy,
law, the guy always gets taken away in a domestic violence call.
I guess what, because like it happens
Well,
more
the
often
OJ
than not
thing.
that the guys are the abusers.
Yeah, that's most of the thing is because it's apparently guys are mainly the ones that are the abusers. So
Yeah.
then they always get
And you
taken
know,
away every time a call like that
if a
happens.
guy just gets abused by a woman, it's just kinky, if you know what I mean.
There's no, they say as much as like, we should be equal. It's like, it's not even close. Like if an older woman bangs a younger kid, that's a guy, it's
Mhm.
not that bad. Like people high
Apparently.
five the fucking kid. You're 14 years old and you just fucked your 27-year-old math teacher. Hell yeah. But then
Oh
if you,
yeah.
but then if it's a guy banging a little girl, there's a big
Yeah.
fucking army brigade after that person. Like there was a guy in my town, a teacher that was
Mhm.
banging a 17-year-old student. And that
How
was
old
like
was he?
he was like 36.
Ooh.
That was a big thing that happened. And everyone was like, what? And then it was like this crazy article. But I was like, if the roles were reversed, it's not that fucking like people would look at it differently. And you get to see this in actual judge footage. So the guys show I was mentioning Opie and Anthony,
Yeah, yeah.
they played this game where they would read like a news article of like an older teacher banging a younger like kid or something like that, like a 14-year
Mhm.
old and a 26-year old. Oh my God, this teacher banged
Mhm.
this little kid. And they would
Mhm.
think, all right, now we're going to look at the photo of the teacher and see if the judge let her off with like a tap on the wrist or they got 25 to life. And he was like, all the hot teachers would get off with like a pat on the back or a wrist slap or something like that. But then you would see
Yeah.
this fucking horrible looking person pop up. And you're like, that's 25 to fucking life. And it was
Yeah.
true. That's how it worked. And I'm like, there's no, you can't say that it's equal and shit. And then all this shit.
It's not.
No.
It totally isn't. There was a skit like that on Saturday Night Live with Tom Brady, where it was Tom Brady, Fred Armisen, who's that?
Wait, is it because Tom Brady kisses his kid on the mouth for way too long?
No, no, it was like workplace harassment.
About to say,
Okay,
he does that, right?
why?
His kid's like 6 or 7 years old, and he kisses his kid right on the lips, and they act he holds it for a while. People think it's so fucking weird. You gotta just Google Tom Brady kisses his kid, and you'll see like
No,
people
I'm not.
cartoon animate him like kissing his kid, like like that whole thing with it. It's horrible, but it's funny as shit. I have to watch it. It's like you shouldn't be, but I watch it anyway because it's laughter.
That's bad. Is
Nothing
it
better
because his
than a
wife is
child's
like
laughter.
from Europe?
Yeah,
Is that like
and
a European
well,
thing?
in that same cartoon, he slaps his wife in the face and tells her, "Get away! This is mine." He kisses his kid on the lips. People are
God,
awesome.
what the fuck?
People are
People are
awesome.
awesome.
People create some fun shit.
Yeah, they do.
It's good when it's not you, but when it's
Yeah,
other
no, it
people.
totally is. Just keep that shit away from me, but keep on going.
As long as you're not the person being drawn like that, it's okay.
Oh my god, so fucked up, man. That's too funny. No, that I never knew that. That's crazy. Anyways, going back to the skit. So Fred Armisen would say something to his female coworkers, and it was very tame or something like that. Like, beautiful day out there, and they're like,
You have
"Ew, get away
very,
from me! You're gross."
you have very
And
good birthing hips.
right, but then like
It's so
Tom Brady
creepy
would come by in his underwear and like cup their boob, and they're like, "Hee, this is so cute."
because he's
That
fucking
kind of
Tom
crap.
Brady.
Right. That's exact. Going back to what we were just discussing, yes, because it's motherfucking Tom Brady, right?
See, it's if an ugly person. See, this is the Dobler Dahmer effect. So like Dahmer,
Yeah.
as in, like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Jeffrey Dahmer, the cannibal, right? Was he a cannibal? He was a cannibal.
Then who's Doppler?
Doppler isn't like that radar.
No, see, I'm forgetting what this. It was on How I Met Your Mother where I'm getting this information from. But let's say it's a good show because it actually this does prove a point. If an ugly
Okay.
person or if like a person that seems like it all depends on how you say something to someone. If like a Brad Pitt goes up to a girl and says, "Hey, I'd like to take you out on a nice fine dinner," and you would see it like, "Oh my God, yes, that's Brad Pitt." But if like let's say Hannibal Lecter goes up to a girl, "I would like to take you out on a nice dinner." It has a different effect to it. Now you give off the creepy vibe instead of giving off the attractively handsome vibe. So there's no equal thing when it comes to ugly and attractive.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying what is that like your first impression is the impression that they're gonna have of you, like
Who was the
that's
prettiest
the
girl?
basis of it?
Who was the prettiest girl in your school when you were a kid that you had a
Okay.
crush on? That you had a crush on?
Oh wow. I'm not gonna say that because my
Just
wife
say
will
her
watch
first
this
name.
maybe later. I
Say her
can't
first.
say.
Okay.
Okay, Stephanie.
Okay. Now, who was the ugliest girl that you knew you would never go out with because she was weird? She probably hissed at you. There's always that one girl in school that hisses at people. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not wrong. There's always that one person in the school that hisses at people.
Shit, I can't remember.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right? The hisser.
I never had a hisser.
Really? Did you have a person that
Yeah.
ran like a horse?
A horse?
A horse.
No, man. We didn't have any girls that ran like
Girls
horses.
that try and gallop like a horse.
Yeah. No, man. Why? Did you have any like that?
I had a girl that hissed in my school.
You had a girl that hissed?
Oh my God, yeah.
Come on.
She was so scary. You just be sitting on the bus looking out the window, and the people get on. You
Really?
look over at them, then you look back out the window, and then you look over at her. She's like, "What the fuck?"
So it was like Ali Sheedy from like the Breakfast Club.
Maybe it's an American thing. I don't know. Did you have a girl? What? You're from Canada. Did you have a girl that make like goose noises?
Goose fucking noises.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. That shit didn't happen till like I guess high school.
Who's an
Really,
ugly girl in your school when you were a kid? The statute of
Okay.
limitations is gone, so your wife doesn't have to worry. He loves you, by the
Oh
way. Adam
man,
loves you very much. In case she
I
listens back.
can't come up with a name. Not gonna lie.
Okay, who was like a horrible person you hated in school?
Fuck, I can't. You're gonna end up with dead air, man.
Just
Like I
give
can't
me a
remember
first
past last.
name.
Okay, let's just say
Someone you got
fucking.
into a fight with, someone you didn't want to sit with at lunch. Who was that weird kid you didn't like?
Oh man, you're not gonna win this one. I don't. Okay, we're just gonna say somebody. Shit, Diana. How about that, Diana? Is
No,
that
because
okay?
Diana needs to have a face for the example to work.
Okay.
Stop making this so fucking difficult. I'll pause it if you really need to think
Continue.
about it.
Continue. Go. Go.
Okay, while you're thinking about it, are
Yeah.
you still thinking about it while I'm talking?
No, no, I'm listening to you.
No, think about a damn person you didn't like and why is this so hard for you?
Okay, Gabriella. Is that better?
Is that an actual person?
Yes.
Or are you just using it to fill up a name slot?
Not at all. Go
What
ahead.
did Gabriella look like?
She was taller than most. She was slightly larger. She had warts. The poor girl. And this is why I feel bad. She had warts on her
Giving her a
fingers. I'm
backstory
not
now.
even.
You're lying to me. I can't believe
No,
your lies.
I'm not
Stop
lying.
influencing my thoughts.
She had warts that would cover her, like her knuckles and
Probably
stuff
peed
like
in the
that.
shower or touched a lot of
Oh
frogs. Isn't that the only
man,
way you get warts?
I don't know. Isn't that wives' tales?
Nah, I'm pretty sure if you touch a frog, you get warts.
I don't know. Maybe she did touch. Well, she had monster warts. I don't know if they
I
were
licked a
boils or
lot of
warts.
toads back in my day.
But then you feel bad for her because like this is if you feel like a shitty person because like how's this happen to a person, right?
You didn't say their last name, so it's okay.
You still feel bad for them.
What
Like I
was her
remember
last
growing
name?
up with her, and it's like I feel bad. Like you have all these warts
Gabrielle
all over
sounds
your
hot.
fingers.
We had a hot Gabriella in my school.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, lucky you.
It's funny because you looked off to the side. I had to pump my chair up because my chair went now.
Why? Why? If I look over to the side, then you have to pop up your chair.
No,
What does
because
that
I
make any
accidentally
sense?
hit the
Uh,
shit. I gotta get my chair back to the appropriate level.
it's like where you walk off screen.
I'm at the right altitude. Okay.
So okay, continue on with this.
Stephanie comes up to you and says, Adam, I've had a crush on you for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to suck your dick. Then you'd be like, hell yeah. But then Gabriella comes up to you. Adam, I've had the crush on you for the longest time. I want to suck your dick. That's a
Hell
different.
yeah!
What?
Because you're getting your dick sucked.
That's right. I offered that out. I shouldn't have said that. But it's a different effect, though. You wouldn't say yes to the person that you find repulsive, but you would say yes to the person you find attractive. That's the whole thing, is there's no equalness to the yes and the no, if whether attractive or ugly.
Equal opportunity.
See, then you got to be funny. Like, when a girl goes, you're funny. It's like, okay, so you're just saying I'm ugly, but I'm funny. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, I got that.
Burn in hell, Stacy.
See, the thing is,
tossing her shit out on the
you're
wall.
also assuming that like I was a popular kid, so I could get like any girl, and that was not the case. I had to be that funny kid.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
are you kidding?
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
If
matter.
someone you find repulsive comes up to you and asks they want to take you on a date, you're not going to say yes to it.
Yes. Because when you're,
I don't believe
because when you're a kid that's always trying to seek approval, okay, yes, you're gonna grab onto any human interaction that you can get your hands on.
You're one of the classmates, the weird kid that picks.
I was the kid that hissed at people. Probably.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. I was the kid that wanted to be a werewolf when he was a kid.
You can't tell the crazy person on the bus, then you're probably the crazy person.
Well, there you go.
What did you mean?
This is why I draw
when you were a kid.
Huh?
What did you mean?
Michael J. Fox, brother. Remember that? Oh, you're too young. He had a movie called Teen Wolf. Yeah.
I'm not fucking young, dude.
Well, whatever. You're still like
I'm
16 years younger than I am. That's like almost a generation or two, isn't it?
200 years ago.
I'm
very cultured for a kid.
You are cultured. You're absolutely right. You are. So yes, I don't know why I'm surprised that you heard of this movie.
You wanted to be Michael Jackson Teen Wolf werewolf style.
No,
I thought you meant like
Michael
you wanted
J.
to be
Fox.
Oh, Michael J. Fox. I thought you wanted to be like Michael Jackson Thriller werewolf, where like you were like this giant beast. I start picturing you running down the halls with your fucking shirt off.
No, man. No, I want to be that Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf. That was cool.
You'd be in the middle of class, like, and like you're transforming, and people are like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "He's having a seizure," and they throw you to the ground, give you a defib, shock you, and all that. Now,
I was just pretending.
How do you go from wanting to be Michael? I forgot his fucking last name, J. Fox. See, as soon as you say Michael J, I think of Jackson. So instead of being Michael J. Fox's werewolf, you go to shaving your chest during quarantine.
Because it gets hot.
That's even worse.
You know what? It's not any bad. It's not as bad anymore because I think the ingrowns are out. So, oh man, it was getting pretty bad because it was starting to ingrow some of the hairs, and like you'd have to pop the pimples or get a pin and kind of pop them out and shit.
Stop. What is wrong with you? What are you doing to my show?
I'm trying to. Sometimes
you want to come
waxing
on
isn't a good idea.
You're bringing this as your A game. What the fuck? I had drooled on myself.
You brought it up.
Whoops.
I'm trying to impress a little knowledge on people's heads. But yeah, no, ingrown suck balls. Anyways, why? Because it's hot. It's summer, it's hot, and I don't get along well with the heat because then I have diarrhea problems.
You have diarrhea problems from the heat?
Yeah, from the heat, man. I don't do well with the heat.
From the heat.
It messes with my stomach. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah. And then I have a shit attack. And I don't like that. Like sometimes I'll fart and I accidentally squirt. Are you looking up heat versus diarrhea? You are, aren't you?
So we're about to
you
figure out
motherfucker.
I knew I spelled it correctly. Actually, I
Let me look
added
it
an
up.
E between the R and the H. There's no E between the R and the H. It's
Okay.
DIARRHEA. But I was right on most of it. Signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion include heavy sweating, weakness, dizziness, visual disturbances, intense thirst, nausea, headache, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle cramps, breathlessness,
There
palpitations,
you go.
tingling, and numbness of the hands and feet. Perzenica.
Diarrhea. There you go.
See,
See?
that's how they need to read off the drug prescripts instead of saying Perzenica. It might cause it might cause heat exhaustion, heavy sweating, weakness, dizzy, visual disturbances, intense thirst, nausea. Instead of doing that, they should say all the side effects and then say the drug name. So then all they remember is the catchy jingle at the end. Perzenica.
You know
I just
what?
fixed the fucking. You
See,
know what I'm talking about?
maybe you should get into advertising
Like the proactive commercials where it's like
where
proactive
it's like
to clear
proactive
up
and
your
they have to like
acne.
list all this
Yeah,
crap.
and then the signs are like bleeding from your eyes, explosive diarrhea. That's real shit. Like for proactive, the old commercials back in the day, there was a
Bleeding from
thing.
your eyes?
Going blind was a fucking symptom.
Come
I
on.
swear to you, that was a side effect.
So what, you want to, is it proactive to get a hard on?
It's proactive is a skin cream.
Oh, my bad.
Fucking Viagra is to get a hard on.
I don't know, man. You're coming up with all these kinds of
Don't
shit.
act like you've never
Cialis.
taken one before.
No, I haven't.
You've been to a gas station at
I can
3
get
o'clock in the
hard on.
morning getting a
What?
fucking pomegranate Slurpee and
Oh,
getting a
you
thing of Viagra.
you talking about those little like vials from like China or something like that that they sell and you just shoot it back like a 5 hour
You're
energy?
fucking lying to me so hard right now. You were going in there to get a pomegranate. You put a pomegranate Slurpee on the counter, put a buffalo taquito on the counter, then you put up a thing of Viagra and a very extra large condom. And you said, "That's it." She's like, "Do you really need the condom?" "No, I'm not
No.
getting laid tonight, but I'm going to jack off while I'm on Viagra while drinking a pomegranate Slurpee because I'm an animal."
Because I'm a werewolf. That's what werewolves do.
That's an animal,
The
right? Hope you're happy.
wacky scenarios. That'd be great for a shirt.
I paint a picture though. What?
A
Create a shirt that
werewolf
says
buying a
wacky scenario.
pomegranate slushy, a condom, a buffalo taquito.
I'm not gonna stop you from drawing it. I'm not gonna stop you from drawing it. I got a good idea for one I'm gonna send you when we get done with this podcast. It's mostly the color scheme. I really like this, like a tribal, like a trippy color scheme to it, which I really like. I think it's interesting.
Is it interesting?
It's kind of.
Kinda. It's either it's interesting or it's not.
Do you want me to email Michael J. Fox and say kids wanted to be you as a kid? He goes, "Yeah, I used to ride around in a DeLorean and a hoverbird. Everybody wanted to be me." I'm like, "No, not that version of you. The version of you where you turn into a werewolf and you were on the varsity football team."
No, he was on the basketball team. Basketball team. Yeah.
It's even weirder because you have to wear tank tops instead of wearing full padding where no
He
one can
did
tell you
wear
you're
a
alive.
tank top.
Yeah.
And the shorts. And he had like hair
You
getting
remember that? You got
everywhere.
enthusiastic about the shorts.
What's wrong with the shorts? The shorts with hair coming out everywhere? Now that's class.
Yeah. God, I would hate to look at your search history.
It's probably best that you don't.
And you can tell that one doesn't have any ice cubes in it because it doesn't make a sound.
No, it's nice and warm. Piss warm water. Yummy.
Most people drink that before they go to bed.
Piss warm water? Not a glass of milk?
Not piss warm, but just warm water.
I've heard of people drinking like warm milk, which always weirded me out. Why would you have warm milk?
It actually gives you more indigestion.
I would imagine so. It's gross.
I used to drink vinegar shots before I would eat breakfast or get my day moving in the morning.
Really?
Because it gets everything moving.
Does it?
They say to help with like your digestion, you should drink a thing of hot water before you start your day or eat breakfast, like 30 minutes before.
Okay. And it helps with your digestion through the day?
Yeah. Like a normal person be able to go to the bathroom, but for me, it does nothing. But burn my throat.
Okay. Does it... Have you tried the vinegar lately?
Yeah, did that the other day. It just hurt my stomach.
Did it help? It just made your tummy all upset?
No, because I stopped reading when it said just drink a cup. I just chugged it from the bottle. And I fucking hurt my stomach so bad.
Gallon of fucking vinegar.
Edward 40 hands, but with fucking vinegar.
Fuck. Christ almighty.
Hey, man, what are you doing? I'm playing Edward 40 hands. Can I play with you? Sure. Take a sip. And they go to take a sip. Oh, it's vinegar. It's like, isn't that how you play? No, you
Did you have some
dumbass.
pickled eggs after that too?
Hennessy, you son of a bitch.
You ever had pickled eggs?
I bet you eat hard-boiled eggs, don't you?
Yeah, hard-boiled eggs.
Do you take the shell
Do
off?
this hard-boiled eggs.
No.
Yeah, of course you have to. It's gross. Eat the shell. Come on, man.
I feel like you just
That
bite
goes in the
into a
compost.
regular egg without it even cooking. You just bite into it, suck out
Not
the
that much of
juices.
an animal.
You're
Come on.
eating an unborn fetus when you eat an egg.
Well, it's the best unborn fetus I've ever had.
I want to put a disclaimer on this show.
Hashtag stem cells.
We do not support. We are cutting off our ties with Adam after his statement in an episode of a podcast where he says he likes eating unborn fetuses.
That's why I have a great immune system. Stem cells.
If you eat too much of it, you get salmonella, though.
Maybe if it's like, raw.
That's why I said, like, fighters in the morning eating an uncooked fetus. That's an uncooked fetus of an egg. That's what an egg is.
Oh, just like a raw egg.
But yeah, I used to eat raw eggs in the morning.
I did that once and I think I threw up.
It's not that bad.
You have to have like a mental blocker.
When I was a kid, I used to eat fish oil pills. Not when I was a kid, like
I do that
like
now.
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but I used to bite into the pill because I thought that's how you're supposed to eat it. So I used to bite into it,
isn't it?
and yeah, but I used to bite into the pill and pop it so you get the fish oil in your mouth, like, and then you would eat that. But people are like, no, you swallow it and then you burp up like the fish oil sometimes. But I was like, no, I would bite into the pill and burst that fish oil juice in my mouth and eat that. It wasn't that bad. I thought it was pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Tuna.
See, I do it with because my dog, we give her fish oil for her joints or arthritis, right?
You put it in peanut butter?
No, she doesn't like peanut butter. First dog ever I've met that doesn't like peanut butter.
How are you giving it to her?
No, it's just like
Is it from the same knife that you slathered on yourself with?
It's a capsule. What are you slathering? Like,
I just picture you in your free time taking peanut butter and putting it on your forehead and then putting it on your lips and then rubbing the knife down to your chest.
You have a what's the word I'm looking for?
A low bar?
Low bar. Thank you. A low bar for me.
No, I have a pull-up bar in my room though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a high bar.
Do you hoist yourself up on the
did that until I went to do it and I didn't have it clipped in right and it fucking swung off the thing and hit me in the throat.
In the throat?
In the throat.
Holy shit.
To the point where you're on the ground like you're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like
I tried to do like a high kick once when I was a kid and I ended up on my back like doing that. Like I couldn't catch my breath and I thought somebody swung my leg out.
There's a perfect spot in your body where you hit it hard enough you can knock the wind out of yourself.
Oh, doesn't that suck?
Have you ever tried giving CPR to yourself?
No.
Or the Heimlich to yourself, I mean, the Heimlich?
Or where you like jump on a chair?
No, that sounds painful as shit. You're going to break a rib that way.
That's what I thought you do.
What you do is you get in the push-up position. If you have no one to give you the Heimlich and you're choking, you get in the push-up position, and then you pull your hands out from under you and hit your chest as hard as you can on the floor. And it's supposed to hit enough pressure into your chest to push out your airway, so blow out any food that's in your mouth.
So it's your chest, not your like underneath your chest.
You can,
because isn't the Heimlich like just above your belly button?
It's right under your rib cage.
Right, and you're supposed to.
But you're supposed to pull. You're supposed to pull up when you do it. Yeah, go in and up.
But what you're suggesting is like direct hit.
Because you have no one to give you that leverage. You're supposed to like put yourself in the push-up position, and at the angle you fall, it hits like right where your rib cage is and blows it right out. Same thing with kids. You're supposed to use your fingers and when you do CPR instead of doing chest compressions because you'll cave their chest in.
Now, what if you're a person that is unable to do a push-up? What do you do for that?
I want to know. You don't have to do an actual physical push-up. You just get in the position and you fall. That's all you got to do is fall. Can you tell me?
But what if they fall without being able to be in the push-up position?
What do you mean?
What if they can't support themselves?
Who?
to be in the
Then
push-up position.
survival
Older
does its
people?
thing. Survival of the
What the
fittest does its
survival of the
thing.
fittest?
Nature takes its course and you die. I don't know. Run headfirst into a wall. What do you call it?
More likely, the people that can't hold themselves in the push-up position can't run headfirst into a wall to hurt themselves.
Doing jet skis, we'd always have to do like CPR training. And I remember my last year I did it. They were like, yeah, we don't do the whole mouth over the, mouth to mouth resuscitation. You just give them compressions. And I'm like, so when did they figure out that doesn't work? And they're like, what, the mouth thing? I'm like, yes, you don't have to blow air into their mouth. Like, nope. I'm like, so wait, it's just chest compressions now? You do it to the tune of staying alive. Like, dun, dun,
I've
dun,
heard
dun,
that, yeah.
staying alive. But so I was like, wait, so who was like, I'm gonna put my mouth on this? I guarantee to you it was a random fucking weirdo giving a CPR to some person, and he was like, well, I guess she's dead. Started blowing into her mouth, and she came back. Oh my god, it works.
That's exactly what happened. It's that guy by the river that decided to get a job as a
he can't stop rubbing peanut butter on himself. That fucking weirdo.
Shit. Oh my god.
Every day at 3 p.m. I walk outside in my back channel where my canal is and all the boat slips are, and I like to rub peanut butter on myself. Every day at 3 p.m. And some dude's staring out, like in that movie with the binoculars where he's staring out at the guy. Some dude's like, every day at 3 p.m. he just rubs Jif peanut butter on himself. But one day on a Tuesday, he switched to Skippy.
It's so random, bro. It's just like the most random.
I judge you more if you rub peanut butter on yourself rather than if you rub marshmallow fluff on yourself.
What about Nutella?
I don't like that food.
What's wrong with Nutella?
We've talked about this before.
Okay, but reiterate for the people that haven't watched before.
That's their fault, not my fault. I don't repeat myself. This is why I get so upset with you. This is why I get so upset with you when I'm like, I say something. When did you say that? I'm like, and you sent me a screenshot saying you didn't say anything about Sunday, but I said next week. I did say that, so it's half right, half wrong.
It's half right, half wrong. You're absolutely right. No, it's because I can't remember shit. You know this.
It was
I'm getting on in yours, Robbie.
It was written down.
Dementia. Yep, doesn't matter.
Dementia.
That's right. I'm not gonna deny
I'm ending the show now. What do you want to say, Adam? Where can people find you?
It's like sorry, man. I can't. You know what? This show's not even happening right now. It's just dementia in my head. I think it's happening. So I'm actually on the couch drooling.
There's a fucking schizophrenic ad. There's a schizophrenic commercial for a type of medication that treats schizophrenia. And I've been watching documentaries on schizophrenia because I'm so fascinated with the human mind. Mostly that all these corporations that are meant to actually help people. I consider society a disguise of saying we're pro mental health, but you see them, none of them doing anything to help mental health. Like no organizations being made. These are all people going out of their pocket. They'll toss $1 billion at it, but they don't care where the fuck that $1 billion goes. As long as they say, well, I gave them $1 billion. They did whatever with it.
Yeah.
But for schizophrenia, it's like it says this type of medicine. And then it's a woman walking down the street and she sees this guy handing an ice cream to a kid, like at an ice cream thing. And she looks and then looks down and looks back over and the guy's taking multiple photos of her, like just taking photo after photo after photo. And she goes, what? And like shakes her head to like kind of clear her eyes out to see if it's really happening and rubs her eyes and everything. And then the guy's back to giving the ice cream to the kid. And that's schizophrenia, is that you think people are like out to fucking get you. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Wow.
Like, that's why I talk about the world's turning into the era of schizophrenics with all this like misinformation and this type of conspiracy shit. It's all like trying to, and it's crazy because like then it's her talking to a bunch of her friends at like a coffee table, like eating, like drinking a coffee together. And I'm starting to think like, you just showed me she was batshit crazy a minute ago. Are those people actually there?
You're not wrong. You ever watch that movie with Ryan Reynolds? It's called Voices.
No, it's not called Voices.
What's it called?
It's called. No, it is called Voices.
Nope, it is called Voices.
With the talking dog and the talking cat?
Yes! That's such a good movie.
That's schizophrenia.
Yeah, I know, but it was a great movie, wasn't it?
Great movie.
So amazing.
Body parts talking to him in the fridge and shit.
Yeah, and Anna Kendrick was in it. She's so cute.
You didn't take your medication again.
So funny, that movie though.
I think you're a good boy, buddy. I think you're a good boy.
Yeah, the dog was the best.
The
The
cat
dog
was
was the best.
crazy.
Good, man's best friend for sure. I think you're okay, buddy.
All right, where can people find you at?
Adam's Drawing Board on Instagram, or just go to Teesprings under the Out of the Blank podcast and get some t-shirts. Support Out of the Blank.
I like that, but I don't really any dollar you donate to my charity for the people who can't see the color red goes to helping to see the next person see the color red.
See, Robbie's helping people. Helping people. He's people helping people.
And spreading misinformation. I
Dun, dun,
spit on my
dun.
microphone. No. My nice new.
Sign off.
All right. Goodbye,
Robbie,
world. Talk to you
take
later.
care.
Avita Zang.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.